Hello. Welcome to How to Run a Patient Reminder Recall Report in CTWiz. This video demonstrates how to generate a patient reminder recall report using Connecticut's Immunization Information System, IIS, or CTWiz. It also demonstrates how to view the results from a previously run report and how to delete a report. Before you can run a reminder recall report, you must be a CTWiz user and associated to at least one clinic in CTWiz. CTWiz users are only able to import, view files and run reports for the clinics they are associated with. For more information about how to request a CTWiz user account, access issues and troubleshooting, please refer to the CTWiz training page. Only system users need to request a user account. People seeking their immunization record through the CTWiz public portal do not need user access. Please note that reminder recall reports can be quite large and they will generate overnight because of the size and complexity. If the report is too large to process, it may time out before processing is complete. To reduce processing time, users are encouraged to leverage the report filters on the main parameter screen of each report. Limiting the vaccination date range or restricting the report to a certain age range can significantly improve the processing time needed to produce the report. CTWiz will automatically schedule these reports to run during off-peak hours. The user will see results once logged in on the following day. Users are also cautioned against being too restrictive with their filter choices, especially with the use of optional parameters, because it may produce the unintended consequence of returning little or no data on the report output. The patient reminder recall report can be used by clinics to identify patients who are due for a vaccination or patients who are currently overdue for a vaccination. A patient is only included in your report if they have an active status at your clinic and your clinic gave a prior dose. For more information on how to activate or deactivate patients in your clinic, please refer to the CTWiz training page. The report is based on immunization data that has been entered into CTWiz. Previously run reminder recall reports are saved and can be rerun to reflect any changes in vaccination status for the patient cohort since the report was last generated. Patients can be identified through targeted selection criteria, including date of birth, age range, vaccines due, dose number within a vaccine series, and more. Forecasting logic is based on Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices or ACIP recommendations and is provided to assist with clinical decision-making. Please note that a user must have delete privileges in the CTWiz Reports module to remove a report from the list. To run the report, click on Reports from the left-hand navigation menu in CTWiz. In the Patient Management section, locate the Patient Reminder Recall Report. On the initial Patient Reminder Recall page, users have the option to view a previous report or run a new report. To view a previously run report, click the Filter button and the previously run reports will appear on the bottom of the page. To create a new reminder recall report, first, verify that the correct provider and clinic are displayed on the screen. And then click Add Reminder Recall Run to open the Report Parameters page. Next you will enter a run name. This is used to identify a specific reminder recall run on the main reminder recall listing screen. Then verify the correct provider and clinic are selected from the drop-down menu. After that, use the radio button to select a report type. The options include Patient Default Clinic and Vaccination Clinic. When creating a report for routine vaccinations, users should select the report type of Patient Default Clinic. The report type of Vaccination Clinic better serves pandemic and flu vaccines where the Patient Default Clinic is not updated when the vaccination is documented. For COVID-19 vaccinations, please select Vaccination Clinic. Clinics that take ownership, such as medical homes where all vaccines are given, should use Patient Default Clinic to get their patients. Pharmacies, health departments, and hospitals should use Vaccination Clinic to find who needs reminder or recall for an additional dose because they gave a prior dose. Next, enter a run schedule date. You can double-click to enter today's date, or you can enter a future date. Keep in mind that reminder recall reports can be extremely large and resource-intensive depending on the selected query parameters. Scheduling the report allows this report to be run during off-peak hours. This report will run overnight on the run scheduled date indicated. The run completed date is a read-only field and will be system populated once the run is complete. You can use the filters to narrow the report results by reminder recall date range, age range, and date of birth range. These fields restrict the list of patients to only those who are due or overdue for a vaccination within these parameters. The reminder recall date range restricts the list of patients to only those patients who are due or overdue for a vaccination within this time period, as of the date the report is generated. This field is required. For COVID-19 reports, it is suggested to use a from date of December 1, 2020 and today's date is the through date. Either age range or date of birth range is required, but not both. Age range requires a unit of measure, UOM, of months or years. You can select the type from the drop-down menu. You can use the filters listed under Options to target patients included for reminder recall to restrict the report to specific user-defined parameters. These filters are optional and include several options including city, zip code, and gender. If you check the Ignore setting for Do Not Include Patient in Reminder Recall option, it allows patients to be included in the reminder recall regardless of whether or not the Do Not Send Reminders option on the patient demographic screen has been indicated. Only include patients with address limits reminder recall to only those patients with a complete address listed in CTWiz. The increment patient reminders recall count indicates this reminder recall should be included when counting the number of reminder recalls for a patient. The number of countable reminder recalls is utilized in other areas of CTWiz that provide functionality to inactivate patients or exclude patients with a certain number of reminder recalls without a response. This option should be left unchecked when doing a test run or running a reminder recall for informational or planning purposes. You can also exclude patients after number of reminders recalls without subsequent vaccination. To do this, simply enter a number that you choose to indicate that patients with that number of reminder recalls without a vaccination be excluded from the report. You can generate a reminder recall event. Check this option to automatically log the reminder recall event on the patient events page for those included in the report. This is nothing more than documentation and need not be checked for reminder recalls to function properly. The Include Patients Due for Vaccinations reminders targets patients coming due for vaccinations. Patients will be included if they are due for one or more vaccinations during the period specified by the minimum and maximum reminder dates. The Include Patients Overdue for Vaccinations recalls includes patients who are overdue for one or more vaccinations as of the minimum reminder date, minus any offset. The minimum number of days past due to include limits recalls by indicating a minimum number of days overdue for patients to be included. For example, entering 30 indicates that patients must be at least 30 days overdue to be included in the reminder recall. Leave blank or use 0 to include patients who are overdue as of the minimum reminder date. Maximum number of days past due to include limits recalls by indicating a maximum number of days overdue for patients to be included. For example, entering 30 indicates that patients must be less than 30 days overdue to be included in the reminder recall. Leave blank or use 0 to include patients who are overdue as of the maximum reminder date. When generating your report, you may select both reminders and recalls, but it is recommended that you generate two separate reports to support your efforts. The report output does not call out which patients fall into the reminder or recall category, so separating out the runs will also make for an easier review status for the users. For our example, we will run a recall report and leave the minimum and maximum number of days past due blank. The only include patients with 2 or more non-influenza H1N109, COVID-19 vaccinations excludes patients who do not have at least 2 vaccinations that are not part of the influenza, H1N1 or COVID-19 groups. Exclude patients with 1 or more vaccine refusals excludes patients who have 1 or more vaccine refusals indicated in CTWiz. Next, select the vaccine series to include in the reminder recall run. Only patients needing a vaccine from the selected series will be included. You can click the vaccine series box at the top left to check all of the vaccine series, or to deselect all vaccine series. We will deselect all of the series and then just click on the boxes we are interested in. The dose number field is optional and will limit results to patients needing the specific vaccine series and dose required. For example, by selecting varicella and entering a 2 in the dose field, the results will only include patients needing a second dose of the varicella vaccine. For our example, we will select varicella, meningococcal, HPV and COVID-19 and leave the dose number blank. If you are not looking for dose number 1, be sure to put a dose number of 2 or greater in the dose number box. Once all reminder recall parameters have been indicated, click Create to schedule the run. After you get the success message, click Cancel. You can update any of the fields and click Update if a change is needed before the report actually runs. An automated job is run every night that processes all reminder recall runs scheduled for that date. When it has finished, the run completed date will appear on the patient reminder recall page to indicate that reports can now be generated against the list of patients. Once a reminder recall run has been created, the criteria cannot be edited. If a run is created in error, simply delete it and create a new one. Log into CTWIS the following day to view results. To view results or generate address labels for a previously run report, navigate back to the Reminder Recall Report page and verify that the correct provider and clinic are displayed on the screen. Then click the Filter button to display the reports that have been run. If you would like to view the parameters selected for a particular run, click the View button and the parameters will display. If the reminder recall has been created, the criteria may only be viewed and not changed. To go back to the list of reports run, click Cancel. Then, use the drop-down arrow to select the action desired. The Patient Reminder Recall Report provides a number of output options for the user. Please note that use of the reprocess feature is not recommended at this time. The first is the Unvaccinated Report. This lists patients that meet the reminder recall criteria that have not returned for immunization since the reminder recall was last generated. The report includes name, contact information, patient vaccination history, and immunization recommendations. The Unvaccinated Report displays as a PDF that can be printed and saved. The next is Report. This output lists all patients that correspond to the reminder recall criteria for the associated reminder recall. The report includes name, contact information, patient vaccination history, and immunization recommendations. This report also displays as a PDF that can be printed and saved and can also be used as a call list for patient reminders. The extended report is very similar to report in style and content but also includes language information. Like the other reports, the extended report displays as a PDF that can be printed and saved. Dymo labels generate a set of address labels designed to be printed on a Dymo label printer using Dymo address labels. These labels are based on the report option results. Only documented mailing addresses will be printed on the labels. Patients with only a physical address documented in CTWIS will display on the labels but no address will be printed. The top right-hand corner of the label includes the language code for the patient on the label, which can be used to place the label on language-specific postcards if desired. Avery labels are similar to the Dymo labels but they generate a set of address labels designed to be printed on Avery 5160 style labels. When printing, indicate to Adobe Reader that it should not attempt to fix the report to fit within the margins. This may cause the printer to print outside of the label margins. The top right-hand corner of the label also includes the language code for the patient on the label, which can be used to place the label on language-specific postcards if desired. Postcards are formatted to print addresses on pre-printed reminder postcards. The full extract, autodialer email extract, and autodialer phone number extract options download CSV files to your computer that you can then save and use in Excel format. Previously run reports can be deleted by users who have been assigned delete privileges for the reports module. To delete a reminder recall, first, click the View button for the reminder recall to be removed. Then the Patient Reminder Recall Edit page will display with criteria selected when the report was initially run. To delete this reminder recall, scroll to the bottom of the page and select Delete. A reminder recall report can only be deleted if the report has not generated results. Otherwise, 120 days have to pass in order to be able to delete the report. Here are some best practices for running reports in CTWIS. Updating your patient roster regularly will help generate reports that are up to date and will save you time in the long run. If a patient leaves your clinic, inactivate patients in CTWIS before you run reports. Use returned mail as an opportunity to update addresses and/or inactivate patients that may no longer live within the clinic's service area. Run smaller reports, they are easier to manage. Larger reports will slow the CTWIS system down and your report may time out. Multiple reports can be generated to cover all patients and you can stagger them over different days. Use the dose box by the vaccines to help target the data you are looking to generate. Thank you for watching How to Run a Reminder Recall Report. For more information on managing patients in CT-WIS, including a comprehensive CT-WIS reports manual, please refer to the CT-WIS training page. If you cannot find what you are looking for, please contact us.